change your mind. That's all a paradigm is a change of mind. And God is trying to get us to understand that the harder the devil fights, the closer you are to your breakthrough, the closer you are to your victory. And that's why if you keep your mind stayed on Him, not your emotions, but your mind, stay on Him, He'll keep you in perfect peace. Now that doesn't mean trouble and calamities won't come. That means He'll put you in a position where you're mature enough to understand that whatever's coming didn't come to stay. It only came to pass. So I conditioned my mind that trouble is coming. I said trouble is coming. But guess what? God is faithful. As long as Paul was effective for God and was doing damage to the kingdom of darkness, he was going to be opposed by demonic forces. And so are you. As long as you keep lying to yourself and keep being lazy and keep being missing in action, you're not a threat to anybody. Matter of fact, you ought to get in trouble. You ought to get shook up when the devil don't come to your house. I said you ought to get shook up when he don't come to your house. Well, that means he got you. Paul said you got to go through some things. He wants us to understand that in this spiritual warfare, the reason why you got to get your mind set is because of some of the stuff you will have to learn how to deal with. Now, Paul had to deal with some real physical things. Can you imagine somebody taking your shoes off and beating the bottom of your feet? Can you imagine being in a shipwreck? Can you imagine being on Mosquito Lake? A night in a day, in the middle of the lake, treading water just to survive. And these are just some of the things he had to go through. He was attacked by his own brothers. Attacked by the enemy. Them haters that come after you. Said that Paul was fasting often. That wasn't because he wanted to. It was because he had to. Didn't have nothing to eat. He was cold and he experienced nakedness. Similarly, many of the tragedies that occurred because of the enemy's onslaught against him. But yet at the same time, he had to keep the right attitude. He knew and understood that the message that he carried put a bullseye on his back. Can you imagine Paul going to town and there's a group of folk in town that were enraged with the word and got a posse together to run him out of town? I wish I could get a posse together to run you to Sunday school. Okay. There were surprise attacks from the demonic realm. And Paul had to use his shield of faith in order to protect him from the enemy. But Paul was able to survive because he had personal consecration. And this was the thing that gave him the defensive mechanism that he needed to ward off the enemy. This personal holiness paralyzed the devil's ability to make him fall into the traps of the enemy. We're living in a day and time where they want to put anything before your face. You must understand that your eyes are the windows to your soul. So are your ears. So you can't put just anything before your face. Because the enemy knows what he's doing. And he's trying to get to your mind. Very difficult for the devil to completely destroy a person who lives a sanctified and consecrated life. who lives a disciplined life before God, understanding that the enemy is trying to take him out by any means necessary. Spiritual warfare is real and is happening every day. And we need to remember that Satan's greatest weapon against you is deception. Deception